everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because, well, I'm often seen with a guitar. They call me on the phone. They say, hey, man, what's your show about? I say, it's about an hour. It's about guitars, guitar playing, guitar players, and all things guitaristic. So if you want to call me on the phone, ask me a question about like how to play the guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, the care and feeding of your guitar. Call us up here. If you want to talk about some related topic like the guitarron, the cithara, the sitar, the lute, the oud, the vihuela, banjos, balalaikas, bazookas, bajos, sextos, mandolins, mandors, mandocellos. If you want to talk about, let's say, accordions, ocarinas, pipe organs, piccolos, saxophones, sackbuts, drum horns, chordals, pipe organs, piccolos. Did I say that already? I don't care, man. I say this every week. If you want to talk about something else, like, politics, world events, your own personality problems, that's fine. We're here for you, but keep it clean. This is a family program. All right, well, so we're back here. It's this slow time of year, Everybody's like, I guess the students are coming back in town. I was just driving here, and a clump of young people walked right out in front of me, not looking at all. And then I slowed down about 5 miles an hour, I didn't run over any of them. Now, if I'd been texting, they would have been dead. But anyway, so then they finally get across one guy looks. So it's time of year again. But anyway.
Hey Tom,
Yeah.
Don't you think you should introduce your co-host for today? One day and one day only. One day and one day only.
Yeah, well, okay. So Bob Wiley, who's often the
Can you hear him?
that Bob.
Just let him know.
Bob Wiley, he's at the fair. He's at the state fair. He cannot be here this week. So as we have Tak Fu as a replacement slide man. And
Okay, director, and hit one. There you go.
Yeah, see, you're like,
There I am. Hello, Iowa City.
So you're going to take over for him.
Gonna take over one day and one day only.
Are you kidding? You can handle the pressure of it all.
No pressure.
Oh, okay. I don't think Bob feels all that much pressure either.
With some of the jokes that he tells, though, that's pressure-filled jokes.
You wouldn't think of it, but he's the most off-color one we have on this program sometimes. He pushes the envelope of what we consider a
Good taste or just humor?
family program.
Okay.
How's that for a version of an E major chord? Anyway. Let me know though, I got Bob's email. He wasn't going to be coming. I thought, well, there's been a lot of criticism that there's too much talking, not enough playing. I thought I'd play more this week. I don't want to, cut you out or anything like that. Of course, I can talk and play at the same time, I'm using different parts of my brain.
That was great, Tom.
Really? You didn't think it was like elevator music or something?
No, it was great.
Because some people are really uptight in an elevator and they need some help, you know?
And nice work there, director.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
Nice work.
Skopinski in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought you wanted more camera time. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now that the camera's on me, we were talking earlier
Yeah.
about some of your influences, or that time you were in California, the Haight-Ashbury days.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm a little young for that. I'm not as old as you might think.
Oh,
I know I look like an old geezer, but this is sort of a show for old men. I wouldn't, say that between Bob and me and...
but I didn't know about that part of Tom, the San Francisco Conservatory.
Oh, I just took lessons. I was an outpatient. I took some lessons, man. I wasn't like an actual enrolled student or something like that. You know, I was just taking lessons, and I went to a class every week, and then I practiced a lot. That's all. But I also had a gig at the Cafe Express every Saturday night.
Yeah, awesome.
And so I practiced 14 hours a day sometimes. I was.
And you stayed where?
Well, most of the time I lived in the Harcourt Residence Club, which is a hotel on Sutter and Larkin Streets in San Francisco.
Still there?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't been there for a while. I looked it up once, actually, because... so here's the thing. Of course, this is back in the olden days, you know. I mean, it was after the earthquake and everything, but I mean, never mind. See, there were these places called residence clubs, and they were hotels where they had a dining room in them. And if you worked at one a certain number of hours a week, like 17 and a half hours or something, which isn't all that much, you could get a free room, and little room on an air shaft, you know, an air well, which people around here don't know what that is, but, you know, it's in a tall building. You could have an outside window, or you could have an inside window, which is in this little shaft of, you know, it has a little courtyard at the bottom. So you get one of those like kind of little rooms, and you have a roommate. And, you know, the twin beds, sink in the corner, bathroom down the hall, but it's free. And you also get 3 meals a day. The food was not very good, but then again, you would stay alive, you know. It wouldn't cost you anything, as long as you had to work, you know. And
sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it was a great deal. And I was
for San Francisco, because that isn't the cheapest place to live.
It wasn't that expensive in the old days, because there are people like working people. It was a working town. They were like stevedores, you know, unloading ships and things like that. And in the old days, you could be like a waiter and still have a little room somewhere, and, you know.
Hey, I got an idea. What? Why don't you play some music that you learned from back in the days? Play some of that style of music,
like my recital? I think I know this anymore. This one anymore. It goes like and then it goes like actually, what'd be more interesting than that though is like what I composed, because I used to make up my own tunes, you know. And now you got me reminiscing. So I had a friend, and her name was Kate. Just a friend, you know, nothing like that. And she had a very sad kind of face. She's like of that. She's from Boston and had the accent and had the sad Irish face, you know, and a lot of poor Irish there around me those days. And so I went and got this coffee. We're talking about the coffee. So anyway, in the dining room, they had they had the big coffee urn thing, right? So they had the two sides. They had the metal tube, or the glass tube, so you could see how much coffee it was. 2 coffees and then hot water in the middle for the tea drinkers. And there weren't nearly as many tea drinkers as coffee drinkers, so the 2 coffees would be all the way down, but the tea would still have that much hot water in it, you see. So we get a big old pitcher and take the hot water, pour it through one of the coffee ones, and we get second generation coffee, you see.
Wow, if we only had like an image for that.
Well, yeah, don't you have one in your mind already?
Well, but I want to see an image.
Great big stainless steel industrial-sized coffee urn device with 3...
Maybe we can do that in post. You know,
Okay.
when we rebroadcast, we'll throw the picture up, maybe in post-production.
Yeah, there is no post-production on this show. Anyway, so we'd pour the water through to get second generation coffee. That'd be free. So I sit there, and I was bringing a cup of this, or taking, shall I say, because it was over there, and I'm not there now. But I was taking a cup of this to Kate, who was doing the graveyard shift on the desk, which was also my job, but this was not my night. I gave her some of this, and I came up with this little tune, and I called it "Coffee Break with Kate." It was my first composition of a whole series of guitar solos, and I think I still know how to play it.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
All right. This is a product of my 19-year-old mind, not the old geezer I've become today, back when I was full of romance. That was my coffee break with Kate.
For a minute there, I thought it was Silent Night. Some of the similarities to Silent Night.
Yeah.
Holy Night. That was kind of similar.
Yeah. Silent Night's just 145. Silent night, holy night, always come, G. See, the one thing that had...
Silent Night, Coffee with Kate.
Yeah, well, it wasn't silent because I was there in the dining hall. See, the dining hall had pretty good acoustics at night. You see, nobody in there, so it was like a big room, and I could get the reverb, man. You know. One thing, speaking of sound, you got me reminiscing, which is terrible. And that's not. But one thing I was doing at that time was I was trying to do this really fast. Like I had so I had this teacher who said I didn't have very good left-right hand coordination. You know. Which I've been, and it's one of those things, you know, like somebody tells you you can't do that. You say, oh yes, I can. You see, so that's sort of like a. See, well, that's just like, different parts of my brain, like connecting. So I had this one lick, I was doing All Along the Watchtower by Bob Dylan. Because at the same time, I learned how to really appreciate Bob Dylan. At the same time, I was trying to be a classical guitarist. It kind of twisted me up a little bit. That's made me what I am today, But so that song, All Along Watchtower. So I would do it like this. So just that's a 64th note run. So what you have to do is like, see the two hands working together. So it come out like. If you got nothing else to do, except drink the second generation coffee, you could do that for a long time. Especially if there's nobody around to get really annoyed at you. And then you get better at it, over time. So when I did the coffee break with Kate, it's a thumb thing, see? But if you do the thumbing fast, like and then do a hammer-on or a slur or a trill, if you prefer, and you put the two together, you start going pretty fast, Because if your thumb is doing like, so if you keep dividing things in half,
That has that similar vibe to the spaghetti western Clint Eastwood, Asino Morissette. Huh?
Yeah.
Familiar?
Yeah. I actually was listening to a bunch of those lately. And another thing I found, and I should have, what's this? Heather Zacharina, I think it's Heather Zacharina. It's a YouTube channel. And Heather doesn't work there anymore. They have Lena. But it's an ocarina making company. You know what ocarina is, It's like...
No, I don't.
It's... Well, we mention accordions and ocarinas on the show like every week. Ocarina is like a flute, only it's round and usually made of clay. Instead of being long, it has the holes on the sides. So it's also called the sweet potato. And it's like... they have them in like Asia and in South America. They, Do you know that like El Condor Pasa... the Simon and Garfunkel, way old one. I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. It goes. It makes this. Well, they have ocarinas on it. Okay.
Okay.
An ocarina is a very pure whistly sound. It's like a clay flute, but it's round. See, so you play it like this. Okay. So I discovered. I was looking at ocarinas for another purpose, and then I found this guy playing an ocarina, and he was kind of a nerdy guy, kind of bald with a gray mustache and glasses, saying, "It could be you." He played something really pretty on the ocarina. Said, "It could be you." It's in promoting ocarina playing, see, which is sort of gone out of fashion. Not that it ever was really in, but anyway. So then I started looking at the ocarina, other things on YouTube, and I found the ocarina, or Heather's ocarina, and there was Heather, who was very pretty, young woman in her 20s, who played ocarina really well. But then the thing is that Lena Leclerc took over for her, I guess. And she's also pretty, with nice long hair and a pretty face. And she plays the ocarina, so she's doing mostly video game music. But she did that, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. But with a split screen. So there are 3 Lenas. You see, one playing a little one, and then like a soprano, and then a tenor, and then a bass. Boop, 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 boop. And she actually made it look good, because if I played one, I'd look even sillier than I look playing guitar. Boop, 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 But anyway, check it out. Heather's Ocarina. And
maybe in post we can put that
that's right.
YouTube link up.
There ain't no post on.
There's no post, I forgot. Yeah. There is no post on the Tom's Guitar Show.
If there was post, there'd be no 800, 900 Tom's Guitar Shows.
Yeah, there wouldn't be like cranking out 50 Tom's Guitar shows in a year, right?
Right.
Because there would be 52, but we do actually take a break here at PATV. Christmas,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Is it Thanksgiving?
Oh,
really?
yeah. Or is it maybe 4th of July?
Something like that. Usually one little break in the summer and
There's
one
a
little break
break in
in
the summer and a break in the winter, but other than that, it's Tom's Guitar Show 50 out of 52 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
This is the only week you're going to see me on this one.
You could come back sometime, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. See, I mean, we want him back, don't we? He does a good job, don't you think?
Serviceable.
I mean, you know Bob, but then Bob is no tack foo, so. know what that is. You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A small. I don't know. I don't know.
That was great, Tom.
Oh, you like that? Oh, good. I like to give it a name. We'll call it the Some of Tax Blues. No, that's not right.
You know, Tom, a lot of the folks watching on television do not know that I'm doing double duty.
Oh, you're helping out that camera over there too?
Yeah, here. Come over here, show you what I'm doing.
Yeah, there you go.
Watch. Okay, Bill, take it. See?
Yeah. Oh boy. Ah. There we go. Let's switch over to the next camera guy. There's one. That's Skopinski. Ah.
There's our fearless director.
Hey, there's Phil back there. You can almost see him.
Phil. Where's Phil? I got Phil.
Yeah.
Reflections.
Yeah. There's Mike.
So,
There's, Bill there. Oh, here I am. Oh wow. I'm surrounded by green.
Yeah, I'm doing 2 jobs, hosting and camera.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't be nothing without our fine director,
that's right. I thought,
Sergeant in charge.
if there were, we didn't have this crew here, if I had to, maybe I could like point the camera into the control room and do it from there, But then again, that's been done already. The Juby show does
Juby
that.
show following this at 9 o'clock.
They're gonna have that one this week, do you
Is it
think?
9 o'clock? I know it's in the books.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, that's all we do is like basically tear down and then take all the cameras and just point it towards the control room. And
Yeah.
that's the way it's done. We'll have to do that sometime. Do a Tom's Guitar Show with the Juby influence. You can just direct it at the same time.
Should we do the same sort of dialogue and
Guitar
stuff?
and actually switch the cameras.
Let's see. But is that true? Isn't that what they always say?
What?
But is that true?
Yeah.
They say that all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I mean, it's a perfectly valid question, I think.
I don't know how you do it, Tom. I'm looking at here, we're a half hour into this.
Yeah.
Man, this is tough.
Is it tough, really?
Yeah, running camera and hosting at the same time, man.
Well, at least you don't have to play guitar.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Every week.
Yeah, well, the first 10, 15 years are the worst. And then it gets easier,
Now, when did this all start? What location did it all start? Do you think a lot of the folks know the history? You've been doing this for how long?
Well, I've been doing this particular incarnation of Tom's Guitar Show since 1994. Now, the original Tom's Guitar Show was 1990.
Okay.
And that was at the library, of course, because we used to have our own room at the public library. PATV had our own little section there. And I did a 6-part show on how to play the guitar, an educational program, And I have a guest star every week. I'd have a joke of the week, and I'd have a little sketch, or maybe 2 little sketches. And with my version of comedy, And then one thing led to another. I got kind of busy, and I was going to make another 6, and didn't quite get around to it. And then in 1994, when I lost my job in show business, in theater, actually, and I had a baby on the way. I mean, I wasn't personally pregnant, but somebody I was associated with closely was. And so I lost my job. I was in theater, and I was working in California, and I was unemployed and homeless. Not in San Francisco, but in Mill Valley, right across the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco. So I was unemployed and homeless in California again, but this time I had a baby on the way. So I came back to Iowa City, and I did what I could to make money, but I needed to do something, and so I started Tom's Guitar Show. People say, why would you want to do that, And all my friends in the professional theater would say, why would you want to do public access? That's like community theater, Ski Falls, So anyway, so I started this show, and I don't remember what exactly when, but I think it was the summer of 1994. So it had been, and that little, and the baby, he's, well, I don't know, he's coming home tonight sometime. He's at a party, but he's got a car now and everything, so he's got 1 more year of high school, and so actually this is my creative outlet while I waited for him to, finish high school, so theoretically, I mean, I could quit. At the, a year from now, I could just quit,
No, I don't think so. I think it's in your blood.
Think I'm a lifer? Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, 17, 18 years of it. I mean, it's 18 years. I've been doing this show for 18 years.
Yeah.
I've got pictures of me, Why, PATV, I gave you the best years of my life. So,
And now you're looking better.
really? I look like a grizzled old... Yeah.
And just, I mean, do you ever look back at some of the shows from, say, like 15 years ago and you go, man, I sucked back then.
Well, fortunately, I don't have a 3/4-inch Shoematic tape deck. And so I couldn't even look at them.
So
anyway.
you get the archives there, they no longer exist.
I have archives in a metal cabinet somewhere, and I, if anybody, you know, maybe my biographers can dig them out and try to.
You know, that would be a good idea for a show to splice in, like, you know, okay, I'm going to go on a break right here, brush my teeth, and well, here's an old clip.
Well, I thought about trying to write a grant and get some money to do a documentary about Tom's Guitar Show and PATV, and then you know, so we could we could hire you to help, you know, and like that. I mean, as part of your duty is, and then we could go, you know, some of these places, because nobody around here has a 3/4-inch deck anymore anyway.
Yeah.
They're all broken and stuff.
Tell you what, you go ahead and write that grant, and you raise the money, and I'll be there for it.
You'll be there, okay?
All right.
Let's go look at the old shows and say.
Look through all the old shows, and
People say, "What's it about?" You know, and I say, "Well, it's about an hour." Yeah. See, Phil came up with that joke like 15 years ago or something, you know, or 16 years ago. I mean, that's how it's getting, man. This is like I don't know, it's like a habit, you know. But still doing
should I
it.
go back to doing my other duty, or do you want me to banter with you some more?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I could always play something else, you know. So I discovered these little washers you can put on the straps to keep them from falling off, you know. But now the little rubber things are starting to fall off, and it's depressing me. It's like,
How about we go to some of the older, like 15 years ago stuff that you used to do, if you can remember.
oh wow.
If you remember some of that old stuff. Bringing it back.
See, 15 years ago, what was I doing 15 years ago?
Some library style. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Tom, kick us some library style.
Yeah.
The old library
You know-
PATV style, Tom's.
There was one. That wasn't quite that long ago, but one of the last pieces I wrote. Hang on. I'm gonna make a loop, and
All right, I'm going to go back to my camera.
okay, you go back. I'm gonna make a loop, and then I'm gonna play the solo, and then I'm gonna jam with that loop, which I will have put on hold here. So the loop would be like 1, 2. You know what to do. So So I put that one on hold, and now I'm gonna play the song. made that one up while I was actually doing the show. I mean, well, a big chunk of it came to me.
I was just brainstorming.
Yeah.
I was brainstorming. You mentioned something about getting funding for the documentary.
Yeah.
So I started coming up with some titles.
Okay, some titles, all right.
We got some titles here. First, Tom's Guitar Show, an Iowa City Treasure.
I don't think I could write that, but...
Okay, got another one here. No, it doesn't stop.
Okay.
Phil Phillips presents Tom's Guitar Show, 25 years in the making because we haven't got it right yet.
That's right, there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll keep doing it until we get it right. Yeah.
Tom's Guitar Show. He's got so many guitars, he lost count.
That's true. That's
Okay. This is off the top of my head since you started playing the song. Tom's Guitar Show. Not a hobby, an addiction.
Addiction?
An addiction, yes. Not a hobby, it's an
It's
addiction.
like smoking. You never have to remember to have your next cigarette.
When you think guitar, just think Tom. Or the last one I got here on my list, the documentary, Tom's Guitar Show, it's about an hour. Bam!
That's the one.
Bam!
That's right. What's it about?
What's it about? So, I mean, we can talk more about the title of this documentary we're going to get funding for. So, those are just some I was throwing out there.
You think you need to get the title before the funding, or you think you need to have the title so you can get the funding?
I think you got to have a working title before the funding.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Tom's Guitar Show. Might as well. Ain't got nothing else to do. So, there's like that billboard. Like this fake billboards for states, you know, they say, "Welcome to Iowa. Hope you brought something to do."
how many students, you know, a lot of people out there, they probably know, maybe they don't know that you're a guitar teacher also.
Yeah, it's all,
That's your day job.
yeah.
How many students do you think you have taught over the years? Guesstimate.
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
Really? Thousands?
Yeah, thousands.
And I bet you remember everyone, every name, don't you?
No, I don't. Sometimes I run into somebody who took lessons from me, but of course they were a little kid then, and now they're like 30. So it's,
Yes.
so
They've all grown up and changed.
right. Well, I
But they go, but Tom, you haven't changed a bit.
That's right. Well, I haven't changed as much as they have, but of course I sort of leveled off at a certain point, you know. And you know, when you're like 7, you change a lot. You know.
Yeah.
Over 20 years or so, you change quite a bit from 7 to 27. You know, whereas you know if you're like,
But 27 to say 57, not much.
well, not as much. That's 30 years. Right? Wow, man. I'm gonna be old geezer. You know, you can tell. I mean, I'm 94 years old. I don't know if you can tell that. But no, I think I taught my first guitar lesson when I was 14.
Wow.
Somebody talked me into it. The little girl wanted to play guitar. So somebody talked to somebody who talked to somebody and said, well, this guy plays guitar and takes lessons. Why don't you take a lesson from him? So we lived right next to City High, and I wasn't, of course, in high school yet. I was in junior high. And so I went over there and to one of the practice rooms and with this little girl and her mom, and I showed her how to play Hot Cross Buns, I think. That's a major third, and then that was fine and everything. I never saw them again, or maybe I did see her again. But how would I know if I saw her 30 years later when she was 34? I probably would have recognized her. So.
Right. And then her mom just got into her purse, gave you the $5, and that was it.
Maybe it was 2.
And that was it. Or maybe it was 2, whatever. And you went, money for 2? I got an idea. So that's how it all started.
Well, by the time I was 14, I was familiar with paying music teachers because I had taken. I don't know if you can tell us, but I've taken a lot of music lessons. I haven't taken one recently, but I have been known to take a lot of music lessons in the past.
Well, all things considered, if you were to keep track of the accounting, money paid in and money paid out, would you say you're ahead?
I'd say I'm well ahead. Yes, I would. I would.
So music has really kind of worked out for you for the good.
Hey man, I'm like lower middle class. I have a house. It's a funky old house, but you know I have a car. It's a cheap little car, and then I have dependents. You know, and a wife and a kid and a cat, and they are all dependent on me for food. So I am a very modest success in the music business. I would say, I'm no rock star, but I mean, but then again, I mean, I could pass a background check too. You know, for when I work with kids. Routinely, and I could probably pass it. You know,
You could get a passport.
I guess I have a passport.
Oh, okay.
And I was just,
Have you ever toured? Have you ever left the United States and got some gigs?
I have left the United States and played a gig, but it was just a bit of fun because I went to France driving a sag wagon for a bicycle trip. And I used to live in France when I was a kid, so I'm pretty familiar with the language and the people and everything. And so I went and I was in a bar in Paris, which was a funky little bar, and I went in there with a guitar that I took with me, and I sat at a bar stool and I did a bunch of songs, like I did in the States. And people, they liked it, and they bought me drinks. And then I went back to my one-star hotel in Paris, so I have played in Paris, but I wasn't booked there.
Hey, I got an idea, Tom.
Yeah.
Why don't you play some of those songs that you played in Paris that the Frenchies love so much?
Well, ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. If you don't know by now, it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. It'll never do somehow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. And you're the reason I'm a-traveling on, but don't think twice, it's all right. Another thing I did though in Paris though is there was a guy. I went to a guitar shop, and I was interested because I was doing this is like 20 years ago, and so I was doing a lot of fingerstyle stuff, on a steel string. And Michael Hedges was still alive in those days, and it was a hardcore fingerstyle steel string. So I was trying out these guitars, but on the other side of this guitar shop, on the electric guitar side, there was a guy who had a beret and sunglasses, and skinny arms, and was like a tank top type T-shirts, and a tattoo. He had a Gauloise, which is a kind of a fat French cigarette with black tobacco hanging out of his mouth, and he was just like doing his riffs. People were standing around because he was so cool, He had skinny arms. So I was all kind of like, nerdy and everything. I went to that. Then there was one on the other side. I want to try out one of these, this is a French-made, acoustic guitar, steel string guitar. And I did my, I did my thing, And then people started moving away from the guy because the guy was doing blues riffs that I was teaching to 8th graders, in Iowa. It wasn't anything spectacular. But the thing is that some guitar players are just, I'm not very cool, that's my problem. And it's not about, the fancy playing, because people find that annoying, I think, and you're got a nerd, and you spend all your time trying to practice and figure out these licks and stuff, and reading books about music theory and stuff like that. Nobody wants that's nerd stuff, man. What you want is somebody with a tattoo, who's cool, and
what would be cool? Then maybe we could get a tattoo, make it removable, of the logo, right there.
Yeah.
Put it maybe on the forearm or there.
Yeah. Maybe I could, I could put it I could put it on my forearm like Popeye.
Yeah.
Does he have an anchor on his,
yeah.
He has an anchor tattoo. Huh.
That's just a thought.
Do they have those press-on temporary tattoos?
Yeah. But boy, I wouldn't know the first thing.
Well, you could get them at
that done.
I think at Kmart they
Can
have.
You just submit to get a temporary. It's here you go. Just give them the logo, and then they just do it all up, and bam. Let's try that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose maybe somebody could, somebody with a skill with Sharpies.
Yeah. We'll just go heck with it. Just have somebody, with the Sharpie right there.
Yeah, just draw it on there in the forearm.
Just draw it on there.
Yeah. That's what I need.
You got to get stickers too. Most definitely. Stickers of the logo. That.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Gotta get
that's
stickers.
Laura did that one. That's the banner for the Tom'sGuitarShow.com website.
Yeah. You don't have stickers?
No, I have stickers. No, I'm sorry, man. I don't have that many.
That's the first step to being cool. Is you got to get the stickers, the merch.
Merchandising.
Yeah.
Merchandising, where the real money of the movie is made. Sorry, Spaceballs. That's a great movie.
Golly, Tom. Still 10 minutes to go. This is just a struggle. I don't know how you do it, man.
Well, I can just play guitar. Jack Fu's got me reminiscing. This is the wrong guitar for this. I usually would play a song like this on a steel string.
That was great, Tom.